Two unemployed friends with no dreams, no direction, and no plans for the future. But one day, life hits them hard. They realize that only hard work can change their destiny. What they don't know, however, is that their journey will soon bring them face to face with a chubby, soft-spoken man, someone they mistake for a harmless third-gender person, when in reality, he's the leader of one of the most dangerous gangster syndicates in the city. So, what happens next? Let's not waste any time, let's dive right into today's incredible movie story. The movie begins with our two broke friends, Sang-pil and Kim. Kim has just bought a cheap, second-hand scooter from the black market, and the two of them are out testing it. But the scooter is in such terrible shape that it moves only when they push it. Suddenly, a man on a motorcycle police patrol spots them. The officers order them to stop, but just then, the scooter's brakes fail, and the two friends crash straight into a dirty roadside pit. Covered in mud, they're dragged to the police station. Moments later, Kim's mother, So-hee, arrives furious. Without a word, she slaps Kim hard across the face. So-hee is deeply disappointed in her son. He neither studies, and when his mother finds this out, she slaps him again harder this time. Humiliated and frustrated, Kim finally makes a decision. He's going to leave home and start working, no matter what. The only problem is, he has no idea where to go or what to do. Still, he packs his bag and leaves without telling his mother, hoping fate will somehow lead him somewhere better. After a long journey, Kim reaches an unfamiliar city. At the bus terminal, he notices a girl standing alone. Her name is Lali. As soon as Kim glanced at Lali, she suddenly turned around, and before he could even say a word, she started kicking and punching him. Poor Kim had no idea his welcome to the new city would come in the form of a flying kick. Bruised and embarrassed, he wandered into a small noodle restaurant to eat. The restaurant owner, a kind but sharp old man, looked at Kim's dusty clothes and tired face, and instantly understood that he was a runaway. After finishing his food, Kim searched for a place to stay and eventually found a cheap hostel for the night. Meanwhile, we see Sang-pil, his old friend. He still hadn't managed to find any job and was living with his grandmother who, sadly, suffered from memory loss. Sometimes she forgot to eat, and sometimes she even forgot who Sang-pil was. The next morning, Kim returned to that same restaurant, but this time he noticed a help wanted notice outside. They needed a delivery man, and the job included free food and lodging. The restaurant owner, impressed by Kim's innocent face, hired him immediately. He then introduced Kim to another employee, a strange guy named Guman, who always wore a helmet inside the kitchen. Why? Because of the terrifying head chef Dongi, a man everyone feared. Kim was told he'd now be living with Dongi and Guman, but that night, Kim could barely sleep. Guman's snoring was louder than an engine, and Dongi slept with his eyes open, staring straight at Kim the whole night. By morning, Kim was exhausted. Dongi began explaining how to deliver orders properly, where to go, how to handle customers, but Kim didn't care. He wasn't listening at all. Elsewhere, Sang-pil met with his friend Mizo, who promised to help him get a job. Mizo took him to his boss, and soon, Sang-pil learned the second time. When he finally regained consciousness, it was already evening. He looked around and saw that life never gave him that chance. Then Dongi showed up and scolded Kim for smoking. As they argued, that day, he received his first salary, and Dongi demanded a party. Kim snapped, "I'd never invite someone to my party who didn't help me when I needed it." Anyway. During the party, the restaurant owner smiled and said, "Why don't you go home and see your mother? She must be so worried." Kim immediately shook his head. "No, I'm not going home." Dongi frowned, walked up to him, and said, "When elders tell you something, you listen." Then he smacked Kim lightly on the head. The next day, Kim finally went home, but his mother wasn't there. So, and talked about their work. Sang-pil told him, "Your mum's doing okay much." Looking around the old, dusty store, he said coldly, "You should stop running this weird little shop, Mum. It's not worth it." Then, without another word, he handed her his first paycheck, turned around and walked away. Meanwhile, Sang-pil was out collecting debts with Mr. Joe. That day, Joe decided it was time for Sang-pil to work alone. "You can't depend on me forever," Joe said. "You've got to learn how to do things yourself." He taught him how to appear intimidating while collecting money. When you walk in, your face should should look angry, scare them a little, otherwise stood on the floor. At that exact moment, Dongi entered. He saw the destruction, the ashes on the ground, and something inside him snapped. His face changed, his posture straightened. For the first time, Kim saw his true side. Dongli's eyes turned cold. Without a word, he grabbed the first thug and threw him across the room. The second one tried to run, but Dongi lifted him up and hurled him through the front door. It was brutal, and for the first time, everyone realized Dongi wasn't just a weird chef. He was once a notorious gangster leader. Years ago, after Dongi, who had come to the restaurant by chance, saved him. From that day on, they'd stayed together, turning their pain into purpose, and their past into something they could both live with. On the other hand, Sang-pil went to his boss and said quietly, "Sir, I don't want to make money like this anymore." Hearing the fear in his voice, his boss laughed a little and said, You looked straight at Dongi and said, "Sir, this doesn't suit you. You were born to lead us, not serve noodles. How long will you hide here? The gang needs you back." Dongi stayed silent. He looked at his hands, the same hands that once held weapons, now used to cook food. After a long pause, he said softly, "Maybe you're right, but someone has to look after the old man." Then he turned and saw Kim and Lali laughing together inside. For the first time, Dongi realized maybe they could take care of things now. So, that night, he decided to leave. When everyone heard about his decision, they were devastated. Even Kim, who always got teased by him, didn't want Dongi to go. "He annoyed me every day," Kim said quietly. "But without him, this place won't feel the same." Meanwhile, Sang-pil was walking through town when he noticed a demolition notice on Sohee's small shop, Kim's mother's store. Panicking, he called Kim right away and said, "Bro, they're going to tear your mom's shop down in a few days." Kim froze. Without wasting a second, he rushed home. "Mum, why didn't you tell me?" he shouted. "They're planning to destroy your shop and you didn't even call me?" He immediately dialed Dongli's number. "Hyung, please, I need your help. Some men are going to demolish my mom's store. Can you come now?" But Dongi, his first salary. Kim fought back, desperately trying to stop them, but he was outnumbered. Then, suddenly, Sohee snapped. "Enough!" she shouted, and slapped one of Joe's men so hard that the room went silent. The thugs hesitated. For a brief moment, even they realized how far things had gone. Meanwhile, in another part of town, Dongi was still fighting his old enemies. He managed to defeat them, though he was injured in the process. Bruised and exhausted, he limped into a small restaurant, cooked himself a bowl of noodles, and said to "You see, this kind of work suits me better now." Back the remaining debts. She had to sell their house too. Left with nowhere to go, Kim and his mother started living with Sang-pil in his small apartment. And soon after, Dongi returned to the restaurant once again. He decided to stay, not as a gangster, but as the Kim, Lali, Sang-pil, Dongi, and Sohee found themselves back together, not by blood, but by bond. They had fought, stumbled, failed, yet somehow they had become each other's family. And with that, this heartwarming story came to an end. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate you spending time here. If you found this helpful, please like the video and subscribe for more every week. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next upload.